Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. We spoke earlier today with Frederick Pels, the CEO of Blackhawk Growth. They are a portfolio company. What I mean by that is they have a number of different companies doing different things in different markets, and he tells us how he's going to go about delivering all of the above. You can hear our thoughts and opinions on the conversation, and indeed the company and the CEO in cruxinvestor.com/club, where you can also get company reports, market commentary from experts from all around the world. There's training videos, summaries of other interviews that we have done. And of course, there's a thriving, interesting, intelligent community of investors in there sharing their thoughts and ideas with each other. And if you go now, there's a 7-day free trial. And of course, it would be great to get your feedback too. So do give us a like and leave your comments below. And if you want to see what we talked about, take a look in the description below. Frederick, how you doing, sir?
I'm well, Matt. You?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. We have so much demand from people, from investors to speak to you. And thank you very much for making the time to do so. Where are you speaking from?
I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Right. And sorry, you were telling me before the show, actually, I did know that. You were telling me what it was famous for, and it made me laugh. Go on. What is it famous for?
It's the festival city. And we also, at one point in time, had the world's largest mall.
There you go. There you go, folks. Edmonton. Put it on the holiday list for the festival season. Hey, but look, you're going to tell us about Blackhawk Growth today, if you don't mind. So why don't you kick off, give us that 1-minute overview, and I'll pick it up from there.
Sure. So Blackhawk Growth, it's an investment issue around the CSE. What we're looking for is revenue-generating assets or exceptionally innovative developments, that can lead the charge. Bring shareholder value and, of course, revenue and cash flow to the business.
Okay. So you've got a few products under that banner. So I want to understand how do you describe the company? Okay, first of all, and what is it that you're setting out to build here? Because some of these products, they're all relatively new. You like innovation. You're taking advantage of situations. You've got a track record as an entrepreneur. And I think that leads some of that thought process. But talk to us about what you set out to build day one with this vehicle. Well,
initially, I vended in a couple of our retail assets into Blackhawk before I was the CEO. Things shifted, the marketplace shifted, and Blackhawk wanted to go into a different direction. And that's when I took the reins. And looking at what was out there, the most important thing for me was finding businesses that have growth and really quick to revenue, low CapEx, anything that I can move into OpEx. The company didn't have a ton of capital at the time. So it was about bringing things in that we could build and create some substantial revenue for us.
Okay, but what's the theme that's holding it together?
So the theme was cannabis innovation. We initially started with the space food product, which was a shelf-stable cannabis edible. And it was unique because that's the sort of the problem that you have with edibles. And being in this industry for over 10 years, for me to see a standout edible is very, very rare. They're all kind of the same. You got cookies, you got brownies, and a lot of this stuff goes stale. A lot of the time you'll open a package, it's not very good. This really solved the problem. It was an innovative, delicious, and high quality product. And that was our first spend in. And that led us down the road of shelf-stable food and innovative food products. So that was our kickoff point.
Right. And then you've added a few products since then. So do you want to just talk us through the products, and maybe we'll come back and dive into each one of them? So what's in the portfolio?
I actually have some to show you. So these are our sample packs of the space food. So this is the first edible that we brought on. And what it is a stabilized ice cream. They're 100% real fruit, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. So for anybody that has tolerance issues, anybody can eat them. So we eliminate that prerequisite for a lot of people. So this one is mango, and it's ice cream and cannabis. And these ones don't.
But it's ice cream in what sense? Is that cold that you're holding now?
No, it's not cold. It's been stabilized. So it's think of astronaut food.
Okay.
Right? This was the first innovation. This is what we and like it tastes like ice cream. So you put it in your mouth, it melts. It has the same flavor profiles. It's incredible. And for an edible, you need to have a certain type of bioavailability in the food itself to ensure that the cannabis effect reaches you efficiently. The bioavailability of this product is phenomenal. So anything high in fats, coconut oils, butters, anything like that is what you really want. And this is, very rich in that. It works very well.
So how new is that?
So for us, I believe we brought it in late November of last year.
Right. Sales?
No sales currently. We're just getting to packaging and delivery of samples.
To who?
So it took us a while to bring it to scale.
Right.
I think this is actually the first time I've had a package to show on TV or any interview. So this is mango, we have pineapple, we have strawberry. It really is fantastic. And we hope to see it out in the US through one of our other initiatives. But I think you can expect to see it in Canada. We're looking for an existing manufacturer to license and manufacture the product.
Right. So you've got an edible, which is shelf-stable product, which is basically another delivery mechanism into the edibles market. Okay, so there's lots of edibles. This is one which is unique for now, right? Because there's new stuff comes along all the time, and I'm intrigued as to what did you know about this space before? Because obviously you've been involved with cannabis previously. You've had some dispensaries. You must know the market. So just for the audience, explain to us how you monetize this in some meaningful way in terms of distribution. Where does it go? What are the restrictions? What are the upsides?
Sure. I'm struggling to find the exact route to monetize it in Canada, and especially since we won't be building the infrastructure to manufacture it ourselves here. In the United States, it's you have arguably the largest cannabis marketplace in the world. And you have repetitive products that people enjoy, but are at the same time always looking for something new and something different. It's the product that breaks in an entire league of brands. You can, on the back of something innovative like this, you can bring in any other type of brand that may not have that same uniqueness, and on the back of Space Food, bring in something that's less lackluster, but because of the uniqueness of the Space Food, it will sell the other product as well.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? You're saying that you can take the idea and white label it, or you can introduce.
You can white label it. The brand itself is strong, and the brand can bring on. It can carry the weight of other items that are not as fascinating, not as innovative. So Space Food could bring on its own line of dried cannabis, for example. And based on the experience that the consumer has with the Space Food itself, they're like, oh, I love the Space Food edibles. I bet I'll love the Space Food cannabis. So the brand becomes stronger because of the quality of the product, the initial product itself.
Right. Okay. So that's not a new model per se, but it's a well-trodden path that you hope works. So tell us where you're at. You've just got the packaging sorted out. What sorts of conversations have you had in terms of distributing it? Do you have any sort of sense of the size and the power of those distributors and their ability to give you some sense of how much of this you're going to be able to sell? So economics is what I'm looking for.
Yes. We could probably sell more than we can produce at this point in time. The conversations that I've had, and again, these samples just got shipped off. So that's going to be the real proof in the pudding. I don't want to speculate that these people are going to immediately fall in love with it, but as somebody who's been in the cannabis industry for this long, for me to find this to be an exceptional product, I believe the reception is going to be exactly the same. And in our preliminary phone conversations with any distributor, repackager, or anybody interested in using the product, they kind of just say, what? What is this ice cream? And we can sell it, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Tell me more. It's right away, it gets the attention because it's something that doesn't really exist right now.
But what I'm trying to get at, Frederick, is how do we work out what is a gimmick for now? It's like the grown up version of what toy is in flavor now versus something that's going to have a sustainable future. So, I get what you're saying about, well, it's because it's innovative, we could build a brand around this. So therefore product extension gives it life and longevity and hopefully revenue streams. So I want more insight from you about how you go about delivering that, who the partners that you've got to work with, what's it cost you, what percentage do you end up with? And what's that kind of grand plan for breaking into new markets, state by state in the US? All of that kind of good stuff, which says to me, there's a real plan here, real revenue targets, and a way to deliver that.
The metrics change depending on where you are, which state, which country. Between Canada and the US, I haven't really broached Canada. Using California as an example, we're looking at a 20% fee to the distributor, and our costs are quite low for us to set up manufacturing in any one of these facilities, including packaging. Our costs are very low. I don't want to disclose them publicly. They're very low. You're looking at about a 600% profit margin on the product itself. The margins are great for now with current tax levels in a place like California. That's even taxed. We have the room to adjust for that, as well as cover any distribution costs that come into play. Nevada is a bit of a different story because you don't have the population that you have in California. And also, I think retail distribution is a lot more expensive there. So the way that it breaks down, everybody that I've spoken to there is really quite different. But again, our profit margins allow us to be flexible and be able to adapt to any of the current legalized states' marketplaces. They also have different restrictions on packaging, and that changes the structure too. But again, we have so much room that it's really not an issue.
Right. Okay. I guess at what point do you think you're going to have a bit more of an idea about how all this pans out? Because obviously, I appreciate it's early stage. These are difficult questions when you're, taking one step after another and trying to get into market.
You're asking me when it's going to turn into revenue. I want to tell you. I wish I could.
It's what you said to me. You said I'm looking for growth products with quick revenue. So you must have an idea that you think you can get this into quick revenues. It's one of your.
We're hoping to have it done before December, before the Christmas season is what I'm shooting for. Pretty much on all of our initiatives right now. These things take time, especially with the testing processes that have to be in place before it can hit the market. It's one thing to make the products, figure out the business model. We still have to account for testing, certification, and they have to be done in batches. So we have to manufacture the batches, send them out for testing, get the test results, provide the retailers with the test results, or the distributors, then provide the retailers with the test results. Where there's innovation, there's regulation. So we have to adhere to those rules. And that's the biggest thing that slows us down. In the black market, you wouldn't have these safeguards in place. We're fortunate enough to have these now. So now we know the quality products from the inferior products. So at that same time, we respect that process. It takes what it takes. That's out of our hands.
Yeah.
So I can only put so hard on that.
Okay, sorry to dig into this because we have funded quite a few retail companies in the past, and we've looked at the way that they deploy into the marketplaces. And with companies who've got products like yours, it's about packaging. You package the product up in different ways to appeal to different audiences at different times in different situations, and that kind of gives you a far wider reach. You've got this one product here, and you're going to need to build on that, things to build on the brand. So can I come back to the white label component? Because isn't that the quickest way for you to kind of get your product into market in terms of delivering a product in different ways to different audiences at different times? Aren't you just part of the solution?
Absolutely. For the time being, a direct white label with somebody else's branding is not something we're pursuing.
Right.
We will license manufacturers, though. I think it's good to get the brand name out there. The value's in the brand just as much as it is in the product. So right off the bat, I have zero interest in just going to a straight white label and a certain brand having our unique product. It will devalue our brand because of their availability. However, I'm happy to allow them to manufacture it using our brand. And I think that keeps a lot of the value in the company.
Okay, good. Okay, let's come on to TalkToDoc. What's that about?
So TalkToDoc was an initiative that we took on. We partnered with a company called Healy out of San Francisco. They were, again, a cannabis contact. They were broaching the telemedicine space for cannabis recommendations. When the coronavirus started to come around, they quickly saw an opportunity to switch to full medical. I saw the same opportunity, always appreciated their platform. It's phenomenal, and reached out and attempted to bring it here to Canada. It's a work in progress. Again, bringing a cannabis recommendation, telemedicine that's designed in the US marketplace to Canada requires a lot of moving parts, a lot of, again, compliance changes, security requirements. We're learning that as we go. We're bringing more medical professionals in, and we have to tailor it to the Canadian marketplace. So it's really evolving pretty far away from where it was when we initially launched it, and it's turning into something really great. It's something that I'm passionate about. I think the telehealth space is going to be huge, and you're going to hear a lot more about it from us.
So have you done that under license? Is that a JV? I mean, you say you've taken their...
It was a revenue share model that we have. But
how, what does that look like? They've got it in the States, I presume, and you've brought it into Canada. Right. So it's revenue share in Canada.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
Revenue share just in Canada. Yeah, we didn't have exclusivity with them in Canada. They just didn't see a need to pursue the Canadian marketplace. It's really interesting how many people have that opinion of Canada that I deal with. They just avoid it. We do have a lot of regulation that is difficult for people to navigate or requires the use of consultants, and sometimes it's the trouble is worth more than the actual reward for a lot of these corporations. So we have the ability to get it done, so we come in and ask for the permission to do it. Okay,
so given that what I know about Canada is in terms of the healthcare system, it's like here, NHS, it's free. There is a kind of private clinics here, there, and everywhere. So how do you, given that healthcare is kind of free, this is advice you see as, it's a bit wider than, hey, which cannabis advice can you give me? This is bigger than that. You think that this is much bigger than that. How does that fit into the current healthcare ecosystem? What are you aiming to try and deliver?
There's so many different types of practices. I mean, you have general practitioners, psychology, psychiatry, dermatology. I'm not going to name them all. You know what they are. It's finding a solution that we either laser in on a type of practice and promote that and solely stick to that, or move on to some platform that can support all of this, and where you have a drop-down menu that says, who do you want to see? The problem with telehealth in Canada pre-COVID was it wasn't viable for doctors. They weren't making enough money to do it. So none of them did. And they changed the billing codes to accommodate COVID. And this really turned telemedicine into a viable business model in Canada at that point. So, the entrepreneur in me obviously said, let's get into this. Let's try and use things that we have existing and bring them over. And it's obviously a lot more in detail than any of us expected, but we're up for the challenge and we're excited to see where it goes.
But how do you quantify, again, coming back to your thing, I want growth, I want quick revenue. You saw this pre-COVID. You then, obviously, COVID came along, sort of changed the world, and people are doing a lot more things online because you got to stay at home. What's the future look like?
So the future in this, it's pretty simple. The billing codes for Health Canada, I believe, are about $40 per patient visit. And that's for a 10-minute visit. They're actually limited on time frames. And we take a percentage of that. So it would be a 30% rake on that visit. And then we bill the doctors directly. And then it would have been a split with Healing after that.
Right. So
the more doctors you have online, the more patient visits you have, the growth is pretty exponential. And it doesn't sound like a lot, 30% of $30 or $40, but when you have 5,000 visits every 10 minutes.
But where do you get those numbers from is my point, because again, entrepreneurs, I love entrepreneurs and they also scare me. Okay. I would probably put myself in the same category.
Me too.
Right. So they love a spreadsheet. I'm interested in where the data points come from for that spreadsheet. So it's nice to say 5,000 every, that's great. But what's the reality? How do you get to a point where you go, I'm certain of capturing X% of the marketplace because, how do you determine that?
Starts with one. Really, that was our goal, was to make sure that we had doctors that were willing to sign into this business model. And we had success with the business model itself. It was the platform that we had to adjust to accommodate them. So that was number one for us before we even looked at the patients. The patients are looking for an easy to use solution. There have been some clunky, non-usable models, and they tried them and they dropped them. And we don't want to be part of that. So we're really honing in to make sure that it works. There's, without mentioning a few of the competitors, we've seen the amount of visits some of them have per day. So with proper marketing, I don't see why we couldn't get TalkToDoc to that level. It's a much more user-friendly interface. So we want to be able to market that. Less so much, everybody knows that they're going to see a doctor, or hopefully they're going to get better. What they don't want to do is use something complicated that will aggravate them privy to the consultation. So that's what we want to, promote.
Okay, so I love the irony of the fact that it's been delayed because of COVID. But that aside, we should look at things like marketing costs, right? They're big. That's a big deal for something like this, right? If you've got someone else's platform, even if you've had to adjust it, there's a kind of cost to that. The marketing, capturing an audience, that's the expensive bit. Where's the money come from?
So Blackhawk is fortunate to have pretty good treasury. I've been a pretty good steward of that. We have close to $1 million in cash and another $2 million in securities, liquid securities. We're right at the door of revenue on a lot of our other initiatives. So I don't really foresee money being an issue for marketing on TalkToDoc or any of our other products that we're putting out.
Okay. Medigen and TBG, what are they?
So Medigen is a Taiwanese biotechnology company. They have roots to Texas as well. So part American, part Taiwanese. They've created a solution, and it's a full spectrum solution, is what I like to call it, because we have a real issue with the way testing is being done right now. Most people are only taking one type of test. TBG has both antibody testing and PCR testing. The difference between the two: PCR tests for active viral RNA, and that's when you have the virus. It's your body still hasn't developed any antibodies for it, and obviously when you're most contagious. And the antibody tests for exactly that. They test for your body's production of antibodies to fight off the viral infection. You really need both to get a full sense of how many infections you have in your country, city, workplace, what have you. And TBG has what I consider to be the best test kit suite on the market.
Right. And what's the relationship with them?
We are their sole distributor for North America right now. And we're submitting, again, on their behalf to Canada for Canadian approval. They also have all the necessary lab equipment for the PCR testing, which is needed just as much as the kits themselves. Right. If you can't process the kits, there's no point in buying them.
Absolutely. So it's a distribution for North America, big market. Obviously, there are competitors out there and other people with already in the system, as it were. So again, how do you distribute it? What's the process for distributing it? What do you need to kind of fit into?
So you're absolutely right. There is a ton of competition out there. The biggest challenge that we're running into right now is misinformation provided by a lot of the competition. And you hear it every time you speak to somebody. We speak to our sales staff, and when they come back to us and say, well, they only want to buy one test. And my response to that is, but what do they want to do? Are they trying to see how many people had the virus, or are they trying to see how many people have it? You really have to do both. And it's not that anyone is a COVID expert. It's been around for 5 months. People are really learning on the fly, and it takes time to educate them. Sometimes they have to learn the hard way. We try and paint the whole picture, especially with the people that we're talking to right now. There's a lot of confusion. So for us, how do we sell it? Right now, we have to educate. We have a very good relationship with TBG Medigen. They have provided us absolutely every tool we need to do that. We have access to their doctors. We have Zoom calls. We show how the whole process works, including the testing equipment, which I've been offering for free on large orders. We really want to ensure that people know we're there, not just to sell kits. This is going to be around for a long time. The testing procedures are going to be in place after vaccine, during vaccine. We're going to need this. It's going to be around for a while. So we're building relationships right now, and we're trying to inform people as best we can.
Right. And there's a cost to that. There's a time cost to that, right?
So the next thing is with sales, if you're confident enough in your product and your sales staff is confident enough in the product, they go on contingent commission. So for me to go out there and spend the time to do it would be bad for two reasons. One, I'm too busy running the company. Two, I'm not really the best person to do it. But we do have proper commission-based medical sales representatives that work with us, work with TBG, and really do not cost us anything. They brunt their own marketing costs. They use their connections, and they're rewarded once they have sales, and so are we. So it's a win-win for everybody. We really don't have any capital tied up in promoting that right now.
But here's what I know. So we've invested made a bit of money in the pharmaceutical space, and we've understood the sales process in the US. Okay, There are lots of companies with distribution ability, and there are lots of who'll do it on full commission, part commission, or just basic salary. Okay, that's well understood. If I'm a sales guy and I'm 100% commission on a product where I may be going in and talking about 20, 30, 40, 50 different products. I may have a few pages of products which I can sell into my contact. It's not your contact, it's their contact. I'm going to go for the easy, quick win. Things are going to make me money quickly. So they need to know that there's a need for your product, that they can definitely sell it versus maybe, I don't know what else is on that list of things that they've got to sell. There may be other competitive products on there which give them better margins. I don't know. How do you manage that, and how do you ensure that isn't?
And I'm a real believer in this product in particular. We had previously, and how we really got into this was a different manufacturer altogether. At the time, COVID was still brand new. There wasn't a lot of information. There wasn't a lot of competition out there. As time went on, things got better. We found a better solution, at least what we thought was a better solution. And I've had really good success standing on the facts that, where our test results speak for themselves. I'm really going to stand on it if we get our antibody test approved through Canada. Currently, there are no antibody tests approved in Canada because they don't meet the specificity and sensitivity thresholds that Health Canada has required. TBG has been independently verified by the Johns Hopkins Institute, Taiwanese government, Chinese government, CE, all of which we don't have a result, high or low, that doesn't meet the Canadian standards. So that's really what set it apart for me. A lot of people think Canada's a small country. It might be a little bit easier to get things through. It's just not the case. The regulation here is very strict. They're really looking to protect the population. And if you get something through with Health Canada, you have a good product. And we needed something that we could stand on and say, yes, this will go through. And I think we have that here. And I think our sales staff sees that as well. We were the last approved antibody test in the US under the FDA EUA. And many other manufacturers are still waiting in queue or simply have been dropped off. And that speaks volumes to the quality and the caliber of the product that we're offering.
Right. So this has been built off the back of the SARS product. It now includes COVID as well. So you must have a view about what you think's happening, because obviously no one hears about SARS anymore, but you must have a view about where COVID's going. You think it's going with us for a long time? You think this is long-term revenue, or is this a bit like the kind of space ice cream thing where you think I can build on it?
It's not going anywhere. No time soon. Much longer than the attention span of the public market space is going to be here. It'll still be around when it's not a hot ticket item. It'll still be a revenue generating item for us. 1 million people so far have passed away because of COVID. And you look this morning, President of the United States, First Lady tested positive. If it can get to these levels of government, and this quantity of people have passed because of it, we're in trouble. We have to use these kits. We have to test. It's the only way that we can at least keep some normalcy going. And that's going to happen during the vaccine. That's going to happen no matter what. Lockdown, no lockdown, these kits are going to be required.
Okay, well, I just want to get your view. So do you 1 million people have passed away, which is sad. And I know there's lots of different ways that's been measured, and I don't want to get into that discussion because I'll pull my hair, what's left of my hair, about the way that we do it in the UK. But you've got to have a view of people dying with it, because of it, all of that. So where's the kind of assurance? How much research have you done to give you the surety? Or are you getting that from TBG in terms of how long this sustains? Because I'm thinking about it from an investor's point of view. I want to know, you've got a distribution agreement, which is you don't own the IP, you don't own the product, you've got a distribution agreement. It's you're the sales team effectively, and then you're outsourcing that, right? So I want to know how long this product lasts. I want to know, and if I go to TalkToDoc, what you're going to be able to do with that. I want to know how long the edible space ice cream, not space ice cream, it's probably the wrong phrase, but how long that's going to last, because you're an entrepreneur. You've got lots of interesting, shiny new objects, which you feel, because you're an entrepreneur, that you can sell and make work. You're fixing problems all the time. I get that. I do this. I do the same. But I'm trying to work out: do I invest in your business, and where's the longevity come from, and where's the assurity around that longevity, or is there always going to be something else that you're looking at? Because nothing's actually kind of closed down yet. Do you see what I mean? I'm trying. I like you. I like your approach. I like your attitude. But I want to understand what gives you the certainty around the revenue, and by the way, long-term revenue, and by the way, margin. Are you making money? Where's the growth coming from? So that's the discussion I want to have with you.
Of course. I mean, in respect to the kits themselves, you're absolutely right. Currently, we are the sole distributor of this product. We have to prove ourselves to TBG just as much as we have to prove ourselves to you. That's no question. Am I confident that we can do it? Yes, because I'm confident in myself and my ability to do it, and our sales team's ability to do it. Can I sit here and tell you that that's going to happen? Absolutely, and give you a guarantee? I want to. We're working tirelessly to do it, and we will. But you're absolutely right. We have to prove that portion of it. As far as the edibles, can I guarantee that this is a unique and long-standing product with good profit margins? Absolutely. There is, cannabis has been around for longer than me, and longer than I've been in this industry, and it's going to be here to stay, especially with pending U.S. legalization. I think that's coming down the road, it's a product that's going to be wanted. It's a brand, Betty Crocker, Post, Kellogg's, you name it. All these brands came from a unique product. Everybody else copied them. They're still around, and they're still the biggest. It's okay to be that way for cannabis edibles too. So they're not going anywhere, and that's what really makes it happen, is the ability for it to be shelf stable, sold anywhere, no refrigeration. It's really easy food. So it's really revolutionary. Without going too deep into the whole cannabis culture side of things, it's something phenomenal.
It is, and what worries me is it's phenomenal for now, and there's always competition, there's always innovation, there's always new ways of delivering cannabis into the system, right?
Right. So when you wake up in the morning, you see that rooster, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's really where we're at here with this product. I don't disagree with you. There's going to be newer products. There's going to be more shine, more sizzle, and it's same with the kits, same with the food products. There's always staples. There's always things that you're going to need. You're going to need testing kits. You're going to need shelf-stable food. You're going to need you see your doctor. And what you pick to do it is arbitrary. There might be something newer. There might be something better. You're likely to pick what you know. And the good thing about being the first through the door is likely we're going to be the person or the product that these people know.
Look, I'm a believer in first mover advantage. Sometimes I am. We didn't talk about NuWave. Can we just quickly deal with NuWave, please, before we
absolutely.
Because you're going to show me some stuff, aren't you? So what is NuWave, first of all?
I should have sent you some stuff, to be honest, because then you'd really be a believer. But maybe next interview I'll send you.
So tell us what it is.
So NuWave is a 13,000 square foot, fully licensed, GFSA, FDA approved kitchen, commercial scale kitchen bakery. We manufacture shelf stable donuts and baked goods. And we license NuWave, is another company that has the technology behind this stabilization tech that we use for the baked goods. We have exclusivity for that, Canada and the United States. Again, shelf-stable food is something that I'm really passionate about.
You had me with donuts, but what's this shelf-stable mean? Explain that for people.
So there's two things that you see in a product. You have moisture content and moisture activity. Moisture content is what keeps it, flavorful. You don't want to bite into a stale donut. You don't want to bite into a stale piece of bread. It's going to taste hard, crumbly, like sand. Moisture activity is what creates that. It's not the moisture content. So if you could find a way to separate the moisture activity from that food, you won't get that stale flavor or the rock hard bread or whatever. It's if you go after the moisture activity and not the moisture content, you still have a moist product. So really unnoticed from something that's fresh baked versus a stabilized food product.
Right. Okay.
And that's what we're able to do.
And these things last for how long?
So we have to do, before I make any claims, I have to do a food study. These ones were made on Thursday, so yesterday.
Right.
But again, I just if I could show you, It's been sitting out on my desk.
Right.
So this is a pistachio old-fashioned donut. Another innovation, it just doesn't stop. But this is one of the NuWave products. We've had the regular old-fashioned donuts that I've sent that we first manufactured when we tested this process in March, and they're still good. They still break apart like that. One of the other products we have is the strawberry old-fashioned. So same thing. This donut's been sitting on my desk since yesterday. I should have filmed it or something, but if you look at how it breaks apart, and the strawberry is actually baked right in there. It's phenomenal. It comes apart. It tastes like a regular donut, but it doesn't require refrigeration. It doesn't go stale. It's amazing.
Okay. So remind me, you said 13,000 square foot warehouse facility, which you own, or how does that work?
So we are co-housed by a company called Specialty Baking.
Got it.
Their benefit from it is obviously manufacturing the donuts themselves. We stabilize them and then sell the stabilized product.
Got it. So you're housed there. So when you say 13,000, you're somewhere in the building along with the people who own that warehouse, and they're producing other stuff. So why have you gone in there? Have they got something to do with the relationship with NuWave, or?
Yeah, they are the founder of NuWave, is also the CEO of Specialty Baking.
Got it. Okay, fine, understood. And where's that building?
Edmonton, Alberta.
There you go. It's famous for three things now.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So again, I guess the same questions I'd apply there is how do you go about? You've got $1 million in cash, right?
Yeah.
No meaningful near-term revenue. I get you've got 2 million securities, but how do you apportion the money, the spend, the time on all 4 of these areas going forward? Are you going to focus on things which is going to bring you the most revenue soonest, or is it just a portion 25% of the time for each? How does it work?
Yeah, the way that I see things happening here, like I said, we're aiming for before December on pretty much all of these initiatives for cash flow. We have sold some TBG kits, just
Yeah, but how many? How many?
So I think it was 2,000 as a sample, with the intention of purchasing more.
Margin?
So
What's
it's
the
not
margin?
setting about 60%.
Right. Okay. So 16%, but what's that in cash? What's that in dollar terms, Canadian or US?
You're gonna make me get a calculator.
Yeah, I am.
You are? Okay, hang on. Here, I'll tell you right now. So about 40,000.
Right. Okay. Fine. So that's one sale. Okay. So coming back to the question is, so how do you know where to spend your time? If they can't all be delivering in Q1 next year, can they?
That's what I'm hoping for. It worked that way. I mean, the test kits, I'm pretty hands off with Space Food and NuWave. Look, these don't exist on my desk for this interview. They're here to be sent out. We're speaking to one of the largest chains, grocery chains in Canada right now, as well as another large C-store supplier. This product for them is crazy. The only thing holding us back on serious cash flow, we could do about, with the current equipment that we have right now in stabilizing this food, right now we could do $1 million a year just with what we have. And that's great. But it's not going to fill one of the largest grocery store chains in Canada, not by any means. So let's say they have 1,500 stores. Let's say one case per store per week puts us at a crazy amount, far above what we can produce right now. We wanted to prove the model. We spent the time, we spent the money getting to that point. Now it's really just getting the larger equipment in the space, getting the contract signed, and making the product.
So what do you mean getting the contract signed? So that, as in that's like almost a done deal, or is that you've got some work ahead of you to kind of get a contract signed?
I'm pretty confident that we should see something out of that very, very soon.
Meaning you're already in discussion and they're saying we like what you've got.
I mean, meaning very, very soon. We have had discussions previous to us manufacturing this product. This happened yesterday. And again, it wasn't for this interview solely. It was, if you can see the rest of my office right now, I'm surrounded by donuts and space food. It's it's crazy. I should be 400 pounds, but it's not for me. It's all getting shipped out. And we haven't even looked at south of the border for NuWave yet. I really think it's going to be a standout. It's a sleeping giant.
Okay, Frederick, I've heard enough. Thank you very much. Appreciate you spending the time kind of running through that. There's a lot of moving parts, so it's like 4 companies in one. So probably took a bit of time to work our way through. They've got a better idea of what you're about and what you're trying to achieve there, so I appreciate that. Sounds like a lot of things happening quite soon. Pick up the phone and let us know when some of those things start to drop. We'd be intrigued to see how you are progressing and building up, Blackhawk Growth. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt.